give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Wow, there's no nation. Wow, there's variation. Wow, I'm so brave. Wow, the hell.
Welcome, episode 17. Good episode number this time. Fuel from Fire podcast. Bristol Met Water. Woo! Bit of an odd week this week. It's a week of many firsts, actually. So I'm joined by Cruelty Circuit, which is fantastic. Billy and Ben are here. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Teo is not here, so they've got the lurgy or just wants to avoid Billy for Bristol City. It's the first time Teo's missed an episode. It's the first time I've done an interview by myself. And it's the first time, I think the big one, it's the first time, well there's two actually, that I've heard music that I don't think anyone else has heard.
Oh yeah.
Which we will talk about later, which is very exciting.
Same.
I hope you roses, otherwise I'd be listening to the wrong thing. And the other first I would say is probably the band who's played with the biggest band live, being Soulfly. I don't think anyone can top that. So yeah, a day first. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you for having us again.
Thank you.
Yeah, excellent. How have you been? You've obviously been quite busy.
Yeah, you go, Bill.
Tag your it.
So yeah, we've finally got cracking on with releasing some new tunes. Sort of Waterfall releasing a track at a time until the whole thing is out next month, Friday the 11th of April.
Excellent.
Which, incidentally, is also 4 days after our Metal to the Masses heat. So
Lots going on.
All going on.
So the formal release is the 11th.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah, that'll be when the final track, Wolf Among the Flock, is out.
So you're releasing all of them. Very cool.
Yeah, compile it at the end to all be in one EP, which would be nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Aesthetically pleasing on on Spotify.
Damn that Spotify, yeah, look forward to coming out, because I've already heard it, no one else has. Ha 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 ha. I feel fantastic about that fact.
Yeah.
We'll bring it up a bit later. Let's go a bit, nice, easy introduction to start. Why not, let's just go straight in. Soulfly, yeah?
Yeah.
That was
a fun one.
A lot of fun.
So for those who've obviously listened to, I think it was episode 4, when we first interviewed Cruelty Circuit, they were just about to play with Soulfly in Motion?
Yeah, Marble Factory, part of Motion. Yeah.
So, give me all the details. Let's start with, how was it, the whole experience first?
Top class, I'd say.
Yeah. It was,
best experience so far, I think.
Yeah, and actually very easily ran. Staff there were fantastic as well. Also, one of our friends, Gabe Keeler, was doing sound on the night as well, so
that helped.
And
so you didn't get screwed by the sound.
No, stellar job. It's good.
Yeah, it was just very easy. It was just because it was only us supporting, there wasn't too much pressure. Well, other than actually, I guess when we were on stage and just getting the ball rolling. But generally speaking, the running of the night was very straightforward.
We even got to go in earlier than we anticipated for sound check, didn't we?
Yeah.
That's 3 or 4.
Soulfly were already done.
They're pretty shit hot, aren't they?
Yeah.
Soulfly being ready, because incidentally it's the second time me and Bill played with Soulfly.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Go back to episode 1 then. That one.
This also has a rock and roll story to it as well on the way there.
Yeah, we had a car crash on the way.
We love rock and roll story. Right, let's start there. Car crash on the way to Soulfly.
Was it August? Was it 2016?
2018.
2018. Well, there we go. I don't know my years anymore.
That's how concussed you were.
Sometimes
you've had a kid, so there's no way you know anymore.
Yeah, I know. Nope. I know no sleep. That's it.
Who am I? What happened to that guy's head?
Actually, I did get concussed in the car crash on the way, so that makes sense.
And you've clearly played so well that Soulfly wanted you back, so
I'll go with that.
It was far more stressful.
Yeah, way more stressful.
It was a good thing we left at the time that we did, but so by the time we got there, luckily, it was your brother and Joe Whiting, I think, as well, that helped pick us up and our stuff from roadside.
So who caused the car crash?
Not Bill.
Not me, no.
But I was concussed.
It wasn't me as well.
I was concussed, so I plead the fifth, you want.
Just too excited for the gig, or just
just
driving like a twat.
No,
The person in front
saw
or something, wasn't
saw a van further up ahead that was trying to pull in without indicating, which then caused a domino effect of several cars ahead of us, either emergency braking or swerving out the way. And although I spotted that, I for some reason didn't click that. Oh, this might.
I need to stop.
Exactly.
What are brakes for?
I mean, I absolutely emergency braked, but it just
We had a bit of weight in the car, to be fair. So our equipment was in there. So.
Was it alright?
They were trying to pull that one, and it's like, nah, it's absolutely fine. But
so did you play the gig?
yeah. Thankfully we made it just in time.
Good effort.
It was that was way too stressful. But that was with a different band, wasn't it? Obviously, but we were in.
Yeah, it was the box of lighting that came flying out from the back of the head. That's how it was.
This is what I'm like I am now.
That's why I thought. That's why it was 2 years off.
Like I said, I got some-timers. I sometimes remember.
I love it. So it wasn't the crash that did it was the light rig hitting you.
That's it.
Good effort. That's pretty rock and roll.
I mean, it cracked the inside of the windscreen, so that just
After
kind of
it
gives you
hit,
after
yeah.
it hit.
Yeah.
After hitting Ben in the head, it's like on its way.
No sense, no feeling. We're alright.
Well, yeah. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger,
Yeah,
right? So
What doesn't kill you makes you the bassist.
let's fast forward to current Soulfly one then. How did that come about? Because I imagine, I don't know how you applied for it or how it came up, but also I imagine the competition was pretty steep for that.
It came about, I think, just before we played the show at the Fleece with Heart of a Coward and Humanities.
When you
Last.
guys
I
first
saw it,
called
yes.
it. Yeah.
And I think it was the week before that, and we just had a random message out of nowhere, just on Messenger from our friend Ash Cook, who's a promoter and also one of the co-organisers for Radar Festival.
Okay.
So he used to be in a band called Valis of Blaze, which Adam also used to be the frontman, the original frontman for that band, like a long time ago, over a decade or so ago. And
Right.
he's currently in another band now called Adharma.
Yeah.
Adharma, sorry. I'm putting too much emphasis on the
I had that with Mondrago. Like I was
Oh, yeah.
got it wrong again. There we go. In my head, I've got it right. And then I say it's like, no, that was wrong. I'm sorry, Mandragora. Got it right. Yes.
Him and another friend of ours, Mark Tandy, who's also a promoter. They both just brought us into a conversation, asking if we wanted to play with Soulfly.
I can imagine that conversation. Do you want to play Soulfly?
It was pretty much that. And then Adam, I think, was in disbelief because he wasn't expecting such a message, and was also just like, no, you got to be pulling my leg.
Yeah,
and I'm just
this
like,
is
no,
a joke, right?
I was like, no, they're definitely being serious because we've worked with these promoters before, you know.
Yeah.
So they've been absolutely sound to whichever band
Yep.
you've been in
Yep.
like in the past. But you know, we stick to our end of the bargain to the best of our abilities, which is, you know, promote, help put, you know, bring people to a show
And do our best
put
we can.
money into it. You know, just like,
Was that part of the kind of setup, like they booked you, but you had to bring X amount, or
I think it's a fair expectation, but
There's
they
an
don't demand it.
expectation.
You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, if you work hard, they want you on.
yeah?
We absolutely tried. We did plug the hell out of that gig, and we put a fair bit of money into that. But I think even
Well, just like advertising it.
the promoter that was actually putting on, so it was Divergent Promotions. They one of the guys from there said, the current climate of things nowadays, you know, how expensive everything is, and I guess it being the beginning of September, so you know it's still around tail end of festival season.
Yeah.
Partly why our drummer wasn't playing that show.
I remember you saying that you had to get a immediate sub in.
Chaos Sequence drummer James Spiller filled in for us.
Did a stellar job.
Yes.
Yeah. Did a stellar job. Sorry, Spiller.
No need to apologise. I like it. I got the joke.
I think Spiller was the only one who actually got a brief sort of interaction with Max Cavallo.
Oh, he did,
that night as
yeah.
well, actually, because we were hoping we were going to get to meet them, but at the same time we were also pretty aware that they're probably going to be going back to the tour bus, you know what I mean, because it's a big old tour. And
That's
getting
very
on a bit,
disappointing.
but yes,
It was only one support as well. Like
Yeah.
that's ruined my next 4 questions.
What did you say? What did you say? Tell me everything about it.
that brief interaction with Spiller, according to Spiller, he was saying, he was actually like really really sound, down to earth and humble. Like I think just a casual,
Straight
you
up.
know, how was your set, etc. sort of question. So
Shame he didn't come out and watch you.
It would have been nice.
That
That would have been very nice.
So you had no interaction with him at all, basically. Just
pretty
didn't see him.
much, no. We caught glimpses of him in the backstage bit. I think like 1 or 2 moments, but I think for the remainder or the most part of it, he was on the tour bus.
That's a real shame.
With his wife, who's their manager. So
Yeah.
He just wanted downtime, didn't he, basically? So, fair enough.
None of the rest of the band floated around.
They were here and there, kind
I
of
think
heading
the
on.
rest of the band or other members of the band and crew were in the backstage room next to ours. I think, very cool.
As we're on the whole backstage thing, then was there any kind of riders or fun experiences back there? Or
yes, there was.
Adam made an amazing.
please.
Yeah, oh god, hang on. I wonder if I still got the list on my phone.
I know there was posters of Tommy Wiseau was suggested, an ice sculpture, a bottle of Baileys.
Yeah.
How much of this did you get?
We got bananas, the crisps, Coke. We got no ice
Baileys
sculpture.
as well.
We got the
Yeah,
Baileys.
we got the Baileys. He was because he was doing the whole Baileys in a shoe thing
Yeah.
on Mighty Boosh. But
This is where you're saying none of you actually like Baileys.
I certainly do. I had a banana
And a packet of crisps.
and a packet of crisps. No 2 points of lager there.
So before you're looking up the list, how did that come about? Did the venue just message you and kind of go, what you want?
Yeah, they messaged you, didn't they, Bill? I think, and they asked if we wanted anything for.
one of their reps, one of the guys, Angelo, had asked us what we wanted on the rider, and I've actually found a screenshot of
Go on. Hit us with it.
So I just gave him like the general details, like tech spec and email and other means to get hold of us and whatnot. And I said, rider, I guess the following: bottles of still water, bottles of Dr. Pepper, bananas, big multi-pack of Walkers.
What flavour?
Just a just a big old multi-pack. Seat or stool for merch vendor, in brackets, bad leg. Sorry, Lauren. 3 pictures of Tommy Wiseau, a bottle of Baileys, an ice sculpture of Hall & Oates, and Soulfly's tour bus as backstage area.
Nice. Good effort.
We got 70%, I reckon. We'll take it.
The reply was, no dramas. If they have that info, I should be able to get from them. I should be able to get from them. I can't even speak. And then he just replies, also your jokes.
At least they'd give you some of it. Yeah.
Yeah, they fair play, because I wouldn't have given us any of it. But
I'd have given you the water just in case you die.
stay hydrated, there you go. It was a cool little green room, wasn't it? And then it's a very chill area up there. It's amazing how much space there was for us and for them.
Is that your first time playing there?
Yes, yeah. It's the first time I was ever there, actually. In general.
Really?
Yeah, I'd never been to a gig. Into Architects recently.
Architects up on the show there.
Yeah.
What had they played Rough Trade?
It's through Rough Trade.
Right.
Because of bigger capacity.
But the Rough Trade one promoting it, I guess.
Yeah.
That makes sense why they're doing Barry Tomorrow, because Barry Tomorrow's coming up in a few weeks. And I was like, oh, they're playing Rough Trade. I was like, that seems very small. Like,
It's going to be fun.
yeah. But I think it's exactly the same scenario. They're playing somewhere else and it's just sponsored by him, which is a good little deal, really.
Nice.
So yeah, what's the kind of backstage like? Is it just a small little room?
It was pretty big, actually.
Yeah,
generally speaking, there's like a VIP bar thing upstairs, which was very spacious.
Free?
They didn't have anyone working it.
I don't think,
We had the rider, so we didn't need it. We had our Dr. Pepper and a bottle of Baileys.
You're assorted, Chris.
Yes.
Yeah, just a few officey looking rooms, but we'd go in there and it was just
Just
a
a cool
nice little
fridge and seating area, wasn't it? It was very chill.
sofa and
Little cheese plant. That's all you need.
yeah.
Trestle table. There you go.
So run us through the day, kind of how that progressed, and obviously didn't sleep the night before. And,
We had 2 practices that weekend with Spiller.
That's the only times we played with him. Yeah.
That's the only times we've played with him.
that's crazy. He was able to pick up the songs.
Yeah.
Like-
Like shit hot. Yeah.
That's
He had a good month or so to learn the songs because me and Spiller work at the same place together. So when it came up, like when we found out that Tay was unable to do it, I just like find him like on his break at work, and I'm like, Spiller, you know, you said multiple times that you'd be, you know, up for filling in for us if ever we needed it.
Well,
It's like, it's like, Soulfly, Marble Factory. Oh, actually, no, I might have said it like, oh yeah, do you fancy doing it on this date, you know, the 2nd of September or something like that? And it's like, yeah, sure, where is it? Marble Factory. It's like, okay. Supporting Soulfly, and he was just like, it was like, all right, yeah, cheers, no pressure then.
So you want to do it, yeah? Obviously.
No shit. Yeah.
That's really cool. Like, that's serious talent.
There was a band mentioned, another Bristol band mentioned, who they originally were planning on having as support, but they couldn't get them in because they were locked into, I think, the tour or some shows at the time. And that band, who are absolutely making very big waves, and I think at this point in time, probably been a band for 2 years now. Split Chain. They were considering Split Chain for it, and yeah, I think
Never
they were
heard the
unable to
name.
do it. But yeah, they've already they played download like last year. They're doing it.
Really?
They've
2 years.
Like just last year, like they played it. They're playing again this year. They're literally just done a tour of the United States a month or two ago.
Bloody hell.
They're signed to Epitaph.
Rings a bell.
Records? Yeah. Same label as Bring the Horizon and Architects and all
Bloody
sorts.
hell.
Yeah.
They
well.
got I think they got they signed to them last year, so they're making absolute waves in such a short space of time. I wouldn't be surprised if they catch up to Sleep Token in a short span of time. To be honest, like it's insane.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah,
What style are they?
they describe themselves as new gaze, so it's very much like, it sounds to me very inspired by Deftones, like old school Deftones. Like it's got a very drony sort of almost new metal sort of groove with a grungy sort of aesthetic about it. They fit right in with the whole also skater sort of aesthetic and vibe.
They do a cool cover of Type O Negative as well, don't
they did a cover of Type O Negative that they released last year, which was really cool.
That's an interesting cover to do for the different style.
they? Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, they did. I don't want to. Yeah,
I don't want to be
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool.
Really good. Really good.
Split Chain, you said they're called.
Yeah.
I'll have to check them out.
Yeah.
Split Chain, when you listen to this, you're welcome on the show too. You'll definitely love it. But anyway, yes, day of.
So we got there around. We just turned up in Bristol.
I remember being tight because my son was born like less than 2 weeks before it, or just about 2 weeks before it. I was like, sorry wife, see you later. Soulfly!
You lost some points there,
I
but
did.
didn't equally, That's one you definitely cash in on.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on.
I might do this again, but
we met up for lunch, and then
That's when, we met for lunch in town, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then that's when we got the text saying, oh, you can come do sound check earlier. And we were like, oh shit.
what time were we supposed to?
5 or 6? 5?
that, and then this ended up being like 3:30 or something, like 3:30, 4 o'clock. So we're like,
Which really eased the nerves, didn't
schedule.
it? Really eased the nerves being able to go in,
Scope place
chill
out and
scope
see
the
it from the
place,
stage. And
have a sound check and get a feel for the place. And,
that's cool.
Yeah, it really helped.
Did you
Quite
have your own
anxious
gear
about
as
it.
well, or did you use Soulfly's?
Oh no, it's a
It's entirely our backline that we're bringing with us. Like,
Did you have help? Or was
I mean,
it
we
a
had
quick
help
turnaround
from
for
one or
you?
two friends of
Yeah,
ours
we-
who
yeah.
like sort of fill in as crew. Like we have, shout out to Joe Whiting and Lauren Goldwells. Although I think I remember if Lauren was a little bit limited due to her leg injury.
she'll band, don't she? So. But yeah,
Sounds
we
like a good
mostly.
excuse. I'll help you. I'm walking
I'll
around.
hop over
Really
there.
helped on the merch.
Yeah, she did a lot of merch, to be fair. Yeah,
Sam Harbridge as well, and
Yeah.
photography, and videography. Actually, videography and a bit of photography. From
Which
him.
obviously went to the
So
little
for
leaflet.
you guys or for the venue?
Just for us.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool.
And James Collins as well. Chin.
Chin.
Big up Chin.
Photo chin.
Doing photography for us as well. So.
That's very cool.
But yeah, those guys, just like anyone that we, any friends of ours that are available to help or who we, can afford to pay anything
The real
to
ones.
as well.
Yeah.
Like they'll, help from them is always appreciated. So I think it was Joe that helped us loading on and off once he was done with GoPro duties.
And to be fair, because we were just because we were a 4-piece, it isn't too bad, is it? No,
Well,
obviously.
yeah.
it could be worse. And there's plenty of room on stage and stuff.
I think we finished the set with like 3 or 4 minutes to spare.
Yeah.
Like we actually flew through it because those songs do make up about half an hour, but I think the way we structured it was just
we didn't want
to give
to. We
ourselves
wanted to be
enough time, just a little bit of leeway, so we'd be on point. Because the last time we played with Soulfly, their crew were very, very strict, which
it was tight.
Tight.
That was the fleece, wasn't it? It was a lot tighter at that point.
But we were like, oh no, even though we were quick at packing up then as well, but it kind of felt
6
like
of us staying in that band though.
Yeah.
Do you have a timer on stage, or you just keep an eye on the guys at side stage, or how do they track the time?
Well, we know it just because we've got our set. We got a set.
So nowadays, with the current Cruelty circuit lineup, we play to a click nowadays instead of being punk rock like we used to do in the old days. Instead of playing to the adrenaline, like whatever tempo Anthony was going to set, or whatever tempo I was going to set, depending on who was starting the song.
So you all have a click in your ear now?
Yeah, we all have a click in one ear, and then the track playing out through the other end, obviously through the PA. So
very cool.
Yeah, so that kind of helps as well with keeping things tight.
Yeah,
structurally, timing wise,
particularly in that venue.
Yeah,
it really helps.
So half 3, do a sound check, get rid of the nerves.
Yeah.
Must be quite cool to stand on the stage and go, fucking hell, we're about to play for Soulfly.
It really did feel like that.
I guess at that stage you're like, this is real now.
This is happening now. No turning back now.
Yeah.
It's all it's all set up.
Lights are up, they're good.
Shit.
I know Matteo was at the show. Were you at the show?
I wasn't able to make it. Danny was.
So did you catch on to like the stupid intro that we had playing before the Ace Ventura one that we came out to? So that, I think it was earlier that week, was when Oasis had announced that they were going back, making a comeback with those Wembley shows that they announced. So yeah, we
also fuck Ticketmasters.
We threw in this momentary horrible sort of mashup of Legend of Zelda with Wonderwall, so it's like, what was it, The Legend of Wonder Zelda, so it's just the most horrendous thing playing. We just thought it would be hilarious just to come out on stage after that.
It was great.
What I like was a pre-recorded thing that you'd put together.
No, it was something I found online, just threw it in.
Love it. So we keep going on, but it's all fun, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, sound check. You see the stage, everything's good. Then what?
Then shit the pants.
Yeah, it was like settling in really once you're out there, because it was just.
Did you stay in the venue from that point, or did you come back to it, or?
We stayed from that point. Yeah, we just hung out upstairs and stuff. And then it got closer and closer to the time, and they were like, "Okay, now it's time." And we got to walk all the way around the back, didn't you? Which was pretty cool. You went all the way around the back to the back of the stage. You didn't have to go, like some venues obviously you have to go through crowds where you have to kind of like, excuse me, sorry.
I'm not doing it, sir.
That was pretty cool.
That's quite cool.
Plus we sort of took shifts on the merch during Soulfly, so Lauren could enjoy Soulfly. So we were just like, we'll have to sort of switch like between me and Ben, just on merch duty, and just sort of watch through the door, just stand on the edge of the crowd watching through the door. And
because the merch is outside by bars, isn't it?
I definitely got involved in there for a few tunes, so
that's cool.
That's when I'm at my worst. Actually, is when people come up to you afterwards and you're like, thank you. Too shy.
I saw a band. It was in the Exchange a few weeks called Offness. They were like a black metal band. Very, very good. In fact, I mentioned them if you've heard the episode in it. But the lead singer, like proper screeching black metal vocals, like really good black metal vocals. And then I met him afterwards, he was talking to him, and he was the nicest, politest Welsh fella you could meet. And it was just such this contrast, and he was just like such a pleasant fella. Like, wow, what you can do on stage.
He's getting it all out on stage.
Yeah. Summoning every demon possible.
Sounds like Hammer.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Hammer. He was a Tasmanian devil. Like, even in this room in the old gigging days of playing here, just
Griffin, Best Barn, Bristol.
He would have this like bubble around him that no one would want to step in, because
He was an ape.
It's like some sort of force field because he was just insane. Like imagine, I don't know, like Barney from Napalm Death, like especially in terms
Really
of
thought you were gonna
influence
say
and stuff, vocals,
Simpsons.
and just Tasmanian Devil. He was just all over the place, like rolling around on the floor, just jumping all over the place.
It's quite impressive up here.
Yeah.
Just scary. But then in between, so it's like, right guys,
or don't, you know.
it's just so very polite and pleasant.
Always a good way to be.
Exactly.
How did the merch sales go?
Pretty good, I'd
pretty
say. We
good.
sold quite a lot of stuff. Sold quite a lot of CDs and t-shirts, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, actually,
Chatting to lots of
I think I
people.
was definitely more surprised on the CDs, to be fair, just because,
It's all out
just
on
you
streaming.
know everything's on streaming
Yeah.
platforms, so you just kind of underestimate how much or how many people do still appreciate physical.
I think it's starting to become more of a real thing because people are starting to realise that, you know, Spotify, you need,
Yeah.
300,000 listens before you get like $1,000 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You know,
ridiculous.
and all the streaming things are kind of taking the piss. So at least if you buy it, the money goes to the band. And
Yeah, I heard someone say the other day, like apparently like 12,000 streams is one soul sell.
It's,
I don't know if that's true. But
I mean, we've got a couple of £100 or whatever in the bank through streams, and we've had like, we're probably approaching 40,000 streams now, like something like that. Like that's I think 30,000 on the Brutality EP.
okay.
And then as at this time with Visions of the Past currently releasing, and we haven't even put up the final song yet, that's already at about 10,000. So we have a small budget, by the way.
It's a very humble budget.
Who are like getting 10,000
Yeah.
streams in a week. Or
I mean,
whatever.
we have
We're
20
just getting about
listeners to this, so, you know.
1,000 a week,
It's
so
hard, it's
it
hard.
is what it is. Like,
I mean,
Listen,
it's
everyone
cool that you're
listens to
still in the
everything.
tens of thousands, though.
Yeah.
That's still impressive.
It's nice. It's nice to look at stats. I like stats.
Just wish I had more money.
Yeah.
Need
It's sad that it
more
comes to
money.
that.
More money.
You know, it's sad that it
Some
comes
of
to
that
that.
internet money.
I was going to actually say about the whole Soulfly thing. Did it actually open up anything for you after? Did the views, for instance, as you bring it up, kind of?
We gained more fans out of it. Definitely more interest from people like who'd seen us on the night and added us on socials.
A few messages and stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of numbers-wise, did anything go up? Did you see a noticeable difference?
I think we did see I think we did see the listener count go up a bit as well.
That's a great outcome.
Yeah, I'll take that. 100%.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
that's a great outcome.
Yeah.
This is also at the point where we decided on the new plan for releasing our music that we've been sat on for the last few years. So we were just thinking, because we've played some songs in that set which aren't actually out at the moment,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, we want more people to hear that stuff and appreciate it, so
You just don't want to be pissing in the wind, do you?
Well,
That's what
exactly,
effectively
yeah.
doing
because at
half the
that
time.
point we literally just had the 3 songs off Brutality and the Prison song cover as well. So it's just, and then if you dig deeper onto our Bandcamp, then you'll find the 2012 EP on there. And that live one,
Very
that
rustic.
live one
Oh,
that we
God.
found back in 2012 or 2013, just
That's one to keep when you get massive. Soulfly will be opening for you, and you're like, here, have a copy of this. That's how it all started.
I'll take that. That'd be nice.
Yeah, pretty good. That's pretty cool that you're seeing a positive outcome from it. I'm glad to hear that.
Great time.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean, just the experience in itself was.
Yeah.
Even the footage and stuff that was used from it, that we got from it, we were then able to incorporate in all the other footage that we've gathered over the last couple of years, and from the last couple of shows prior to that, which went into being the video for Little Leaf, which we put out a couple of months ago. So that was nice.
That's cool.
It's cool
Very
to, because I didn't see that footage until you put it together, so I was like, oh shit, the crowd was that big. I go a bit blind when I'm
Good,
playing.
750, 800 odd.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It was sold out, wasn't it?
It was nearest down there, I think, was it not? It was close.
It was definitely more than halfway. I'll say that, but
So that's when you were thinking about the third time when you've supported Soulfly, there was tens of thousands of people there. Future!
Next time's a festival, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Which actually, I was going to say about the EP name. It kind of ties in quite well there.
Nice.
Yeah. Anything else about Soulfly that you want to mention? Or the
We love them.
experience?
I think after we'd played, it was pretty wholesome. From there on, it was just really chill and just meeting new people.
Yeah,
who were
people
interested in us and
people
stuff, which was
genuinely
really lovely.
having kind words and stuff was really.
God,
Nice.
the next day was a bit of a bangover, but
It's like festival blues or whatever, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
you're like, oh
no, what?
all that, yeah,
yeah.
anticlimactic. Go home to a crying baby, although beautiful. You know, not quite the same, is it? Like,
Not quite Max Cavalier and Soulfly,
Yeah.
no. Hope your wife's not listening. Whoa. Awkward. Did you wear the ties? So everyone that's listening, Billy sat here with a nice red tie.
So
And
United
Ben's
tie.
got a big old yellow tie on with a lovely knot in it that
I can't do
the
a
king
tie.
would be proud of.
Yeah, it's a Charles knot, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
If you've seen some of our promotional pictures online, like the ones of us in like the coloured like waistcoats, then it's pretty much from that, although mine isn't because I couldn't find mine. I don't know what I did with it. And it turns out during that photo shoot, I couldn't find it then either, so I wore a bolo tie. Like you would say wearing like colour ties to match your things, and I'm just like subtly like...
We've always been ketchup and mustard, haven't we?
Yeah. Literally, just... Yeah, we sort of started bringing in colour theme into our, visuals and stuff.
Ironic, because I'm colourblind, but
So you nearly get knocked out by a light rig and you're colourblind.
yeah, exactly.
The world doesn't like you.
No, it doesn't want me to see.
Yeah, I think it was around 2013 we started wearing colour and stuff because... Yeah,
There's so much black in metal, so...
Exactly. Although I did a couple of shows like wear all white. More like a white Adidas
we
t-shirt, a
found
white
that.
Adidas
Yeah.
like 3
Bringing out your inner corn.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
And a white
It's fun, though.
bandana to match as well.
It kind of goes with the style because, like, you're musically quite quirky on stage.
Exactly,
like
yeah.
the music itself
Brings it
is
out.
quite energetic and bouncy. So
I like to be a bit,
Yeah, I
inject
think
a bit of
I
fun.
couldn't imagine you coming out in like corpse paint or something. Even though that would also
How
be
you
kind of
say
funny.
it?
I say that anything is possible. Anything is possible.
Just
Still
half
baseball
it
and-
into
like-
half a face of corpse paint.
I think it just simply started off based on our favourite colours and also representative of our teams as well. Although, I mean, Arsenal are red, but
Yeah,
they
but
have been
away
known for
kits,
yellow
yeah.
away kits.
And
And
red
then-
and black.
Yeah.
What's your favourites?
United.
Just a bumblebee.
That's
Yeah, we
United,
started just like wearing plain red and plain yellow t-shirts with like black 3/4 lengths, and part of it came about because it used to be like a proggy tech metal band, almost like post-hardcore, I guess, like you could almost describe it as, called The Safety Fire, and God, I missed that band. They were fantastic. They were so like tight and weirdly unique in their own sort of way, but the first time that I can recall they came around to Bristol, they played at the Thekla with Red Seas Fire and James Cleaver Quintet, and it was off the back of their first album, Grind the Ocean, and like watching them, both their guitarists, a right-handed and a left-handed, both playing this like custom brand of Telecaster sort of guitars with I think very sort of bright or sort of baby colour, sort of pastel colour looking finish to them. One's playing
Quite
like
striking.
One's playing like a like a baby or sky blue sort of guitar, and the other's playing like a yellow one. And I look down and I see they're both wearing shoes that match the guitars, like in terms of colour, like Converse shoes. And I just looked and went, "That is fucking dumb." We got to do that. We got to do that.
Like Power Rangers.
Yes.
So I just sort of mentioned it to Ben, like we should do something similar like that. And I mean, I actually do wear red Adidas shoes on stage, like to go with it, which,
I don't have yellow trainers, unfortunately.
I think we need to crowdfund you from.
Yellow
Hi
Converse
Max,
or
when you listen, we could do with a few £100 here, please. Let's get some yellow trainers.
and from that it just kind of evolved. So when we came back with this new, with the current lineup, we decided, right, we should get some like more bits of attire as well. So we've got we've got polo shirts that have a bit of
like
colour
Dickie
on them
shirts
as well.
are,
So they're black, but they've got like a bit of like red
Panel
and yellow
on it.
trim, etc. on
I love
there.
it. That's a good character.
And then we were like, the waistcoat's sort of more formal sort of ideas as
matinee
well.
shows, Ash Everlin.
I mean, you need sound check at 3:30, so
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
But with the Soulfly show, a really stupid niche idea came to mind for me and Ben. Where so we know Max Cavalera is also a football fan, and you know the classic when really popular bands get demanded in comments to play somewhere. The most popular one that gets memed is "Come to Brazil." We thought we'd do our own take on it, like a really stupidly subtle inside joke sort of take on it, and go "Come to Brizzle." So I lent Ben my 2002 Brazil World Cup.
It's like wearing a fucking tent. It's like a yellow pavilion.
Because I'll see yellow as Ben's colour, and here you go, Brazil. And I came out on stage in a red Bristol City football shirt, which is where Matteo is
currently
now
shunning you.
Yeah, that's
not
why
actually sick.
He has disowned me.
Normal service back to next week. Yeah.
Miraculous recovery.
Love you, Teo. So that was kind of what the idea was. It was like Brizzle meets Brazil.
It worked though. The shirt was nice to wear, actually, to be fair. It's very airy on stage. Too airy, actually.
Yeah, mine
Nipples
was
were
quite
out
tight, and I was just
I could have jumped off stage and parachuted, I'm pretty sure it's that big.
The slowest stage time.
Oh, we killed Danny.
That happens quite a bit in the podcast. As we're on the whole attire thing, something I wanted to get out of you last time, but I missed the interview. The alien grenade thing.
Yes.
Can we go through where that came from? It's a really cool image. I love it.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I think occasionally it can be polarising.
Some people are like, it's an aborted fetus. I'm like, what the fuck are you getting from that? What? Some people have said that to me. I'm like, no. Honestly, yeah. Okay.
Just for everyone listening, it's basically like, it does kind of look like a fetus, but it's clearly an alien. Inside in the grenade is kind of your logo, it's your image. It's really cool.
Thanks.
So yeah, if you would like to hit us with some knowledge.
So that came about,
I reckon
was it probably 2010 to 2012 sort of time, as in when it was first even designed. And when I say designed, I mean it was a doodle from our friend Colt Shapland, who he's the best friend of ours. Known him since school.
He
was in the
band.
And he was in our band.
Soulfly.
Small world. Yeah, we blew Danny's mind.
Save some brains.
So I was just like looking through his art stuff, and he's like sold or given us plenty of art stuff in the past, like to friends and everyone. And I saw that image, which was the original image. It was like all in like a green colour, a green finish.
Yep.
And I looked at it and I just went, Ben, I think this might actually go really well with our stuff. And just because we've got Amma and Ant's view on it, and they were up for it as well. So yeah, we asked Colt if he'd let us use it, and I then just edited it, just sort of.
To switch the colours.
Yeah, exactly. Just like edited the colours. Although I've tidied it since, because the original one, like you can see it on our actual banner and on the original logo T-shirts that we had back then. Like it's all a bit grainy and bitty from my
good Photoshop skills.
Paint.
But yeah,
we've all doodled and paint. It's the best way to do anything.
It was the only way.
It is.
Yeah, we just, because we haven't got any better term for it, we just refer to it as the Grenalien.
I mean, that works.
His name could be Greg. Could be Greg, but
we're going to call him Brian from now on.
It's just this alien like fetus thing that's like in a grenade shaped like wound thing, and it's just, we just thought it kind of seemed representative of like all sorts of things really, like, and of course went with what we felt went with our name. But just I think it just sort of provokes a few views on it. It certainly looks like a politically striking image.
It does,
but it's like
it's juxtaposed to when you listen to us, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's a baby in a grenade. This song's about a little leaf.
So you expect like a really brutal band to come on, and you hear the Hobbit surviving.
I mean, I love it. It's a really cool symbol. It's quite striking. It works well on the EP, which we'll go on to in a while. But yeah, it works. The way you've blended that in is really cool.
It's We've got an updated version of it as well, which Colt also designed.
Mad.
So
Also,
he,
I have the
like-
rights to that one then.
Sorry?
You also got the rights to that one.
Yeah, yeah. So I believe we commissioned him on that one. I paid him.
I like to think we commissioned him for that.
I'm sorry, Colt.
I owe you.
This
But
is
we always
definitely.
credit him
Yeah.
everywhere, you know, whenever it comes up. So
When he listens to this, he's going to be like, they didn't fucking pay me. Hang on.
But yeah, that version is about in places like it's on the Brutality album cover as well, like against the container where a couple of workmates are playing a football game called Bum.
Football game called Bum.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty much like kind of like horse, I guess, or skate, you know. So it's like headers and volleys in a circle. If you fail to, you know, header or volley it, you know, if it touches the ground, then you get a letter until eventually someone's got the full word, and then they have to stand up against the container and then take a shot from the firing squad.
In the ass, but
And it just seemed hilariously, like Ben said, juxtaposed at the fact that we actually just named it after one of our songs called Brutality, and it's an image of someone getting a ball kick. It just seemed like a funny idea.
I love it. I do like that aspect to bring to the band, even new EP stuff.
Credit to Jacob Parsons for the image as well, for letting us use that. So yeah, shout out to Jacob Parsons, legend.
A lot of people helped me out, which is good.
Yeah,
It's good.
A lot of good friends.
Yeah, I kind of love the kind of fun and energy you bring to stuff. Like everything from, you know, your image to being on stage. The fact you're sat here in ties and there's no video. You know, it's all quite good fun, and it comes through in music too, which I really
Thanks.
quite like.
I think you got it, aren't you? Because if you take yourself too seriously, you just get lost in everything else.
Yeah.
I do agree. It's kind of funny you kind of see like black metal stuff now. Like some of the younger bands are kind of going away from the corpse paint and stuff just because it is a bit silly. Like no one's sitting there going, "Hail Satan!"
Yeah.
I like this how you play the music. You don't have to look like a fucking
You
idiot.
have to live by it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm really sad. You know, the song's about Satan. Oh Jesus. Okay. Yeah,
Satan.
Another one about me. Should we do a bit about Metal to the Masses? That's coming up pretty soon.
Let's do it.
So you're on Heat 3 of Metal to the Masses?
Yeah.
Which
Less than 2 weeks now, isn't it?
Yeah.
7th
Or I guess
7th of April.
7th of April.
7th of April.
Or I guess by the time this episode comes out, that'll be.
It'll be just
So
before.
this will be going out on what, the 4th of.
Danny, when's this coming out?
4.
Yeah,
4th,
so
yeah, just before.
actually 3 days from now.
everyone get your
Technically
tickets.
it's Friday right now.
Yeah.
It is Friday right
Holy
now.
shit, people.
Buy your tickets right
Buy
now.
a ticket right
selling
now.
out quick.
We're playing
Come
in
vote.
3 days' time at the Exchange.
Come see
along with
everyone.
some What?
I said, come see everyone.
Yes.
And that's come see everyone. Vote for
Cruelty.
who you think is the best.
Cruelty Circuit. That's it. Cruelty Circuit. Cruelty Circuit. So, how did that come about? What do you do to get into it?
So we've competed in it before twice, 2012, 2013, and then we sort of said we're not going to bother. And then when we brought things back, we were asked, I think a couple of years ago, one of the guys from Mortis had asked us. At the time we turned it down, just I think based off our previous sort of experience with it, and just kind of
What happened previously?
I think it was just the way the format of the whole thing was, like in terms of how it was like run, like the voting and all that stuff. Like it felt very much like
Kale was saying before that it was kind of
Yeah,
like
so
school
we-
brought
yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
like he alluded to with
It's a bit
the
loose.
2012 one, what he said on the Smallmore episode about separation. It was kind of a given, but even then, like the scene back then was like made up of musicians who'd attended, including myself, who'd attended like Access to Music and BIM, like between like mid 2000s to the early 2010s, and then when John obviously got the Griffin and
Yeah.
turned it into a metal pub, that
The best
became the
metal
It is. Best pub in Bristol too.
that became the new like hub for everyone. So that's kind of
Yeah.
and yeah, it was cool. Like it was really cool taking part in it that time. Like it was, I think the initial heat was in the front room of the Croft, and then semi-final, which we got brought back as the wild card, was at the Thekla, and then the
Fun
final
venue.
was at the Fleece, and then the 2013 one was the Croft for the initial heat again in the in the small room, like in the front room. Obviously nowadays it's Crofter's Rights, which
I think
is
it's
even
closed.
still. I think it's closed. Yeah.
I think it's closed.
Shame.
Proper closed.
It looked pretty cool when I last went in.
Everyone says it's one of the best things they've played in Bristol. Up there at Tekla.
Yeah, it was cool.
But yeah, the initial heat was again in the front room of the Croft, and then the semi-final and finals were both at the Exchange. And again, there was loads of ridiculous competition back then, and just as there is this year, it's incredible. You know, it's absolutely subjective. Like, you know, that's why I think part of the reason, because, you know, viewing it as, you know, you see it as a competition, you kind of think it's not a sport. You know what I mean? It's, you know, this is music, this is art, this is completely subjective.
Yeah.
You know, granted there are objectives, like in terms of, you know, how quickly a band is set up or comes off stage, or how well
they do,
how well they interact and all that sort of stuff. But generally speaking, on the music front, it's kind of tough. You know, it's kind of a tricky one. Really.
I suppose like a competition like that is always going to be the case to an extent, isn't it? Because we've got loads of different bands of different ilks coming
And
in.
everyone's working the same goal.
Yep.
Like,
that's it.
Everyone's played Bloodstock, so...
Exactly.
But the process, like when we originally played it, was pretty much you get given a voting slip on entry, and you could potentially like blag more if you wanted, and just like spoil ballots or like do that sort of thing. A lot of that sort of stuff like that was happening. There weren't actual ballot boxes, you know, which they have now, which I don't think was made, you know, it wasn't brought to my attention or made aware of. I think when I think Nick messaged about it a couple of years ago, I think we were just kind of like, okay, we're just going to stick to doing our own thing for now, and if we end up there one day, then great. But
didn't think it was going to be so soon. But
and then last year, obviously, Bloodstock announced the 2025 lineup, or a vast majority of bands on it, and it sold out very quickly. And Adam messages in the group chat just like, guys, Metal to the Masses, can we? and I'm just like, oh, go on then.
All right,
a chance to see Machine Head Gojira, you know.
Exactly. Give it another chance, you know, just, you know, see how far it goes. But that's like obviously in the competition mind of it. But outside of that, it's going to be great to actually play with more new bands again.
Yeah, that'd be very cool.
Yeah,
hang out with new people.
That's what Smilmore said as well. They said it's rare you get a kind of opportunity to network like that. Like everyone, you either have two mindsets that you're like, absolutely you're going to win, and like, this is the world we have to win, or you kind of chill and kind of go, oh look, a bunch of bands. And actually you might enjoy the band. Exactly.
Yeah.
We made plenty of friends in, like, you know, the previous competitions, like all those years ago as well. So it's just.
And even Matteo mentioned that one of the gigs was on here, Griffin, best pub in Bristol. No plugging here in this as well. Matteo mentioned one of the gigs that was here was Hammer, Swarms and Vermintron.
Yeah.
And they all won their Bloodstock.
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
And then they just became friends, like, should we just do a bit of a tour? Why not?
Yeah, it sounds fun. I'd love to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So with this year then, so Adam kind of said, shall we do it? And you're like, it's all a bit...
Well, we looked at it and couldn't say no, really. if
it's ever going to be a lineup,
if there's a chance to get there, then take it, you know, because...
Do you have tickets regardless?
Unfortunately, no. I'm very poor and couldn't afford it at the time. But I've managed to acquire tickets through other, like, unorthodox means in the past.
Black market's great, and then selling kidneys.
I mean, an air guitar competition at Fucked, P-H-U-C-T, that club night in at the Lanes a couple of years ago. I turned up absolutely out of my face after a work do, and
and won.
Yeah.
So crazy good at winning competitions.
So
for Metal to the Masses, you're getting pissed beforehand, then, right?
After we play. Please.
Oh God, let's not have a repeat of that Croft all there we did before. When I think I drank like 4 pints of bee sting, and it was like 7.5%, 8% pear cider, and it was the first time I'd ever had it.
Oh dear.
And
I don't remember it.
There are some funny pictures. There's some very funny pictures from that show. I'm pulling the best Evan Townsend faces going, I think. Just like demonic looking.
I said in one of the episodes, who was the band? I can't remember the name, but they had a harmonica player who was off his face in coke, and there was a stage where like he was turned the wrong way.
It's the wrong blow.
And he's like doing all these kind of wacky shit with his arms, but like he wasn't even facing the drummer. Like he was just facing the walls.
Brilliant.
Like, oh, yeah. He'll remember this gig.
Was this the Fleece or?
Twas, yeah.
This wasn't. Were you talking about Kikamura at the time?
Yes.
Or? Yeah, that's our friend Andy Page's band.
Yeah.
Andy Page who plays drum.
Sick
for,
drummer,
yeah. So he used to be.
They're very good. Yeah.
He used to be in a band from our neck of the woods, Saragon, who are thrash metal.
Check
band.
them out. They're awesome.
They're very much like Sepultura meets Testament meets a bit of Metallica.
Still going?
Not currently, sadly.
Check out the song "Removal of the Spine." I love that song.
Sounds pretty wicked.
The second album has some absolutely badass songs on there. Like Removal of the Spine based on Predator, and there's a video for it as well that I think someone had made for them, which was really cool. And The Company, which I think is based on Alien. So, yeah,
that's cool.
It's really
cool stuff in their catalogue. So.
What are they called again?
Saragon, Seregon.
Cool. We'll check them out. So yeah, definitely check out that band. They sound pretty awesome. Cool name of the track as well. So we're definitely doing that. So this year you've decided to re-enter Metal to Masses. What was the registration? What did you have to do? So was people reached out to you, or was it online form? What did you have to do?
This time we reached out to them. So they advertised it. So Metal to the Masses Bristol, which they have social media pages on Facebook and Instagram. We just I think I already had them anyway, like following wise. They had announced or advertised that they're going to be doing Metal to Masses. So this time, they advertised it in advance and explained what you needed to do, like where to send an email to fill out an application. Like it's pretty much just your band, your most recent sort of release, recent shows or any upcoming shows. Some of it was also just to figure out whether you've already got any local shows scheduled around the time that they've got the gigs.
So they're trying to stop people rallying.
To keep at the 3-week month rule,
I quite like that rule, to be fair.
It's been going for a long time, like around Bristol especially. Like,
so you don't have to send any music through or anything? Like you could literally have started band the day before?
Yeah,
I guess so, because there's some bands on the lineup we can't seem to find any material from. So I assume which I'm looking forward to checking out.
One of the bands in our heat, Esker, they don't seem to have any tunes up, but again, I think when we first, feel like when we first did Metal to the Masses in 2012, that was before the EP came out. So they'll have any bands on, like if you meet certain criteria, I guess, or whatever.
And what's the kind of feedback in time then? So like you send in this form and is ranting back, or is it just you're in, cool?
It was very much you're all good to go, like you're in sort of thing. I guess it's just up to them. Like I feel like the deciding factor really was like availability, like date availability, and whether you're already playing any shows in the area beforehand.
Did you mention the whole Soulfly thing? Did that give
I'm
you
sure
the
I probably. Yeah, I feel like I would have. I probably did. It's a while ago now since sending out that application, but that would have been the most recent show that we.
And it's
played.
a big one to have to say. Right?
It doesn't hinder, that's for sure.
Yeah. Just casually drop that in there. We've done Marble Factory at Soulfly, but so from what I've heard this year, it seems like it's pretty jammed. So I wonder how they do it. It'd be good to actually talk to them about it. Yeah, how they actually if there was 100 bands, how do they get?
How
5
do they
per
narrow
heat?
it down?
They from what I heard, they had a lot of applicants for this year's one, like a lot from what I gathered. So
that's a good step, because that means you've already beat a lot of bands already.
That's a good point. And it's like looking at all the bands through the heats, it's a good eclectic mix too of stuff. So
I had a discussion about this the last time. I didn't know would it be better to, if you got Black Metal Day, for instance.
Right. Yeah.
And actually, when I was thinking about it more, and like Ollie from Smilemore saying as well, it's like, well, actually, if it's split up, and you got different styles and everything else. Imagine if Black Metal won in every one of the heats, then you've got a real final of.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty cool, actually. You put it that way. Speaking of, the bands that are with you are Eska, which you just mentioned. Calvaria.
Yeah, saw them at Moorbeer with Type when I bumped into you. We were supposed to play that show originally, but
They were on at the start, weren't they?
yeah, Calvaria opened and then Taipan were on after.
Yeah, so I missed them actually, but I saw from Taipan on. Which is also playing at the same heat in Disaster Clinic and Your Good Selves. Do you know the other bands other than the two we just mentioned?
Disaster
in our
Clinic?
heat.
I think that's the right one. I kind of checked it today.
Disaster Clinic was the other in our heat. Just as far as the heat goes, that's what we're aware of. We don't actually know any of these bands personally, although actually I think Finn from Escar, I think I know Adam and Tay know him.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know one.
Have you checked them out? Any of the bands?
Yeah, I checked them out on Spotify, the ones that do have them too. That's why I know Esker doesn't, well, at least on Spotify doesn't have them.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty
Any
interesting.
threats there, do you think?
Literally, it's just, it's like, it all sounds like great, it's just...
The level is quite high, isn't it?
It's so different, like, that's kind of what I was alluding to earlier, to just, like, how subjective everything is. Like, it's, Taipan had got that, like, Motley Crue, Van Halen-esque sort of, almost Judas Priest sort of vibe to them, and they were...
The lead guitar player is...
Yeah, that lead guitarist was insane. Really good.
The singer kind of threw me a little bit with him, though, with the whole weird suit thing, and he was kind of hogging the light a little bit.
We don't with our toys.
You don't dress the suit, you sat here in your pants. It was just kind of like, even the lead guitar player was like, raging through the solo stuff. He always kind of had to be present. I was like, just give him the light. Like, it's... I don't know. I think they'll do well. I think they might actually go through, to be honest. I'm hoping you guys will, because in my opinion you're the best there. But I'd say that.
Appreciate it.
I'm not messing. I do think.
But that gig, we were meant to play that gig.
Yeah.
With
Embrace the Chaos one.
Yeah, but Adam then couldn't do it. But then Tay.
Yeah. Adam couldn't do it like for family commitment reasons, and then incidentally, our drummer Tay, around the end of January, unfortunately fractured his elbow. He was
hit off his bike by a car.
So
we haven't actually played with him yet. We're having 2 practices before this gig.
No pressure.
So
is his elbow fixed?
he thinks so.
I guess you'll find out, right?
Yeah.
Dum, dum,
Def
dum, dum.
Leppard.
Can you play one-handed?
It literally happened just like over the wall from here, like just literally on the same road where the hospital is. So thankfully it was just like
I need help.
Well,
that's putting a bit of pressure on then.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll find out on Saturday's band practice how
Yeah.
but I've got complete faith in him, he'll be fine.
Have you got many practices scheduled in?
Two, just 2, and the set to be 25 minutes.
Have you written your set?
Yeah.
I'm not going to pry on that one because I want it to be a surprise.
We've got, just on the off chance if we do get any further in the competition, then we do have a couple of other different sets.
We've got enough to be able to mix up,
so we got enough
completely mix up the sets.
That's good.
Yeah, we're quite fortunate now. We've got enough material to be able to do that.
That's very good.
Make,
So you're going to go balls to wall energy, kind of vary it up? What are you thinking?
We'll call it a warm up.
We'll choose a warm up in the hope that we get through to then do warmer sets.
Do you have any idea where you are in the order?
I don't think you get told till the night, do you?
Yeah, we don't. Bands don't find out until they arrive.
I like that.
On the night. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
It's just
encourages you to be there for everyone.
Exactly, it should be.
It's just a bit harsh that the door opening time is like 6:30 and the first band's on at 5 to 7, and people still work till probably 7 or 8 at times. You know what I mean? Like, so fingers crossed that people catch the bands that they want to see and all that.
Yeah.
So.
And how's your promoting going for it?
Yeah, we put up like at least a couple of posts a week. Usually in our stories, we put money down on ads as well for it. Although we kind of spent through our budget on the Spotify campaign for the latest tracks, because we've been having to juggle between promoting the new EP and promoting
social suck you dry. They really suck you dry.
The usual message, friends and loved ones through, And
now you've got a podcast that'll put it out as well.
Exactly.
So, there you go.
More
it's Friday today.
Exactly, it's Friday. Buy your ticket.
It's not too late.
It's not. There's definitely still tickets. I hope. Fingers crossed. It's kind of cool that the Metal Masters has kind of progressed because it's no longer, oh, well, you brought 100 people with you and therefore they're going through.
Yeah.
You know, there's an element to that a little bit, but for the most part, they brought stuff in, which I think is good. Like, not telling the bands when you're
competition.
on. It does, exactly.
But like in a fun way, not
absolutely
in a serious way. It's like people obviously generally come for a band that they love or they're supporting, but they end up voting for someone else.
Exactly, yeah.
They get blown away by or whatever, and they found another band in themselves, haven't they?
It's a funny one because, like, when I was there, obviously he's doing this part of the podcast too, but because we want to kind of follow the bands around. So when you win, you play Bloodstock. Don't forget us, because
absolutely. It's the first words we say.
Exactly.
I'm sad I wasn't able to attend the last 2 heats like I really wanted to, but again, money's not been a strong point. So anyone bumping into me at like gigs I have been to recently, for the most part, they've either been things that I've had, tickets in advance for, or in quite a few cases, just freebies from some friends that wanted a gig buddy to come along. At like Architects, that was a free one from. I was like, oh wow,
you've got some good friends.
Soulfly's Against in Birmingham the other month, like for freebie as well. And then,
nice.
It turns out having a young family means you don't go out as often. I didn't know that before. I know. It's weird.
You just want to go back to the house parties and
and then
nappies.
There was a free gig here at the beginning of February. Friend Mike Bradbury, his band Pulse, were doing their album launch show here with Mechanist.
Oh yeah,
I forgot the name of the opening band, unfortunately, but I was also very, very drunk that night. I was, we were all having a good old time. It was very hectic, and we were crowd surfing our friend Matt multiple times.
Crowd surfing in the Griffin.
Oh yeah,
good effort. Good effort.
Yeah, literally. Usually it's if Matt's at the gig, then we're picking him up. Whether he wants us to or not, we're picking him up.
Good.
But yeah,
you excited for it? You look forward to it?
Yeah.
It only dawned on us the other day when I think Adam said, "Oh my God, it's 2 Mondays away," and I was like, "Why am I weirdly nervous?" I'm the one who's like posting all these like, posting everything on the socials, and now that it's been said by someone else, now I'm nervous. Apparently, I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Damn it is real. That's gonna be fun.
Gig I went to at More Beer on the weekend, Chaos Sequences album launch show, and their last show for the foreseeable.
That's a shame. I wanted to see him actually.
Another band from the Fourth Heat opened for him, Monochrome, who were also very good. And I had a brief chat with them after their set, just bigging them up, to be honest. But they're in like a heat with again a couple of other friends bands in that one. So I know one of the guys in Ascaria, Griffin regular legend, and who's been a very big supporter of us over the years, and has got up on stage several times to do vocals on Parasites in the Skies with us. Shout out to Jake Bristow and Arch Mori as well, which I know Chris Sladden, was Dalen from Smallmore, So it's going to be a tricky one because there's, if I can make it to Heat 4 to check it out, it's like, oh man.
When I was kind of
really
when I was at it was like, so you put yourself saying like you do it for the podcast as well. Like I've been to Bloodstock, and I kind of like when I was making my vote, I was kind of going, would these guys do well at Bloodstock?
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Rather than I really liked their style, or didn't like their style, whatever. It was like, would they go down well? Like, if I walked into the tent and I saw them, would I stay?
If you didn't know him before and you were
exactly
up, like, oh, what's this? This name sounds cool. Yeah.
Which I kind of like the idea of that. Like, it's that they've kind of dissociated the crowd, like being there kind of thing. Because, if you bring 50 friends with you and they're all like, oh yeah, I love your band, amazing.
Yeah, it's a given, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, but then, that's not going to be real.
Yeah, you're not bringing all your friends to a festival that's already sold out.
Exactly. So, I think it's good they've kind of, split the vote so that, you can actually vote for who you want, and it's kind of done quite fairly, I think. So really hope it goes well for you guys, because it's be well deserved.
We'll do our best.
We'll do our best.
We'll see.
But at the very least, it's another show to play, so.
Yeah, more people to play in front of. hopefully you get some more
And it's
listeners and fans.
been a hot minute since we last played in the main room of the Exchange, you know. So
Very long time.
last time would have been what?
2014, 13?
Yeah, probably 2014, I imagine, maybe. Yeah, around then.
Good news with the Exchange. They bought the place next door.
Yeah, I heard.
So
Yeah,
they're making the basement bigger.
yeah, because you mentioned that on Smartmore, right?
They did,
Yeah, I was talking to you about it earlier, wasn't I? I was like,
Yeah.
that sounds pretty cool.
I wonder, will it be bigger than the upstairs, and will the upstairs become the basement, if you like?
Right? Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a good investment for me, really.
Yeah,
It's also cool that Masses is there full time now. In one way, I kind of like going to different venues, but it kind of
It's
makes sense to
consistent
have.
sound
yeah,
and stuff,
yeah.
isn't it?
At least
Yeah.
it's all familiar and you know where and when it's going to be. So.
And I presume the sound is going to be the same, presumably.
Level
So-
playing field kind of thing.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. But like when we did the double at the Griffin last year, we had two different sound engineers both nights, so, and it was very different. But you know,
Bit black
good
and white,
nights
isn't
though.
it? Yeah. Chalk and cheese.
So after Masses, what's coming up gig-wise then?
Nothing indefinite at the moment. We're just
Having fun
we're a bit-
with the
yeah, we're
music
just-
and
I think we've just been so focused on releasing like new tunes and focused on just one gig at a time. We did have another one in Bristol coming up in September time in the works, but then we found out that Adam's unable to do it. But that was being organised between a couple of friends of ours from Yates as well, so Hope of the Hated and Camino. So I'm not sure if they're going to get another band in on it or what have you, but that's going to be a more beer hopefully
Cool.
around September time. But they did actually offer a fair few show dates, but because they were all around June, July sort of time, and that's when the Battle to the Masses is on. We just thought if we do end up progressing,
Yeah, we
then
can't
we can't
book
take that
anything.
chance because we wouldn't be able to.
are
book
they quite
with
strict in that rule then?
Oh yeah, like for sure. Like
So if you were to play here the week after,
yeah, we had it before. I think we might have mentioned this on episode 4 with Matteo, and we said there was the time that when Griffest 2012 was on, which was apparently the first one. We literally played Brisfest the week after, which was at Ashton Court, and that was in the Griffin. That was in the Griffin tent or the Griffin stage, which they used to have like I don't think that's the same banner either, unless they've trimmed the sides of it. I don't know, but they used to be a massive Griffin stage banner that they used, which was originally used for Brisfest, and
That's
then
cool.
they brought it here and kept it up here. Like on the backdrop of like the mural and stuff.
very cool.
A bit of Griffin lore.
Love it.
But,
John, is that still available? Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Bed sheets.
But the promoter who was having us on for Brisfest, she was very much like, you can't do both, like one weekend after the other. It's one or the other. So
We
were
did
like,
both.
Okay, so we did both.
Very rock and roll.
Yes, ma'am.
The way we approached it was we just on another night out, I guess, or another gig night or something here, just approached Matteo and was just like, got some news. We're playing Brisfest like the weekend after Griffest, but the promoter doesn't want us to do that because in breach of the 3-week rule and all that jazz, so we won't be able to play it. So is there any chance you could just
Be quite
take
honest.
us off the Griffest lineup but still have us play it? And he was like, yeah, we could do that, because they'd already printed the t-shirts as well, the lineup t-shirts, so our name was on the back. We were like, yay. Our first little festival t-shirt that we're on the back of, man. I still got that.
Nice.
You should keep that one. That's cool.
Yeah. It's a nice bit of history of
Yeah.
that. So they just kept it at, they just said, okay, Cruelty Circuit have had to pull out, and then they just like put up special guests like main support underneath Separation. And then it just ended up being us, obviously turning up. So in other words, it was a case of
surprise.
In other words, it was a case of we were playing this, now we're not,
But
and
we
it was
are.
all because we're
not
just
supposed to
like,
be
okay,
here.
we're not going to mention it, we're not going to promote it. We
Yeah.
just have to focus on promoting Brisfest, which we did.
Very
and,
naughty boys.
and then it's fine.
Good.
Yeah.
Love it.
But yeah, that's
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
Very big nutshell.
In terms of your gig in Heat 3, I'm guessing we're going to hear some new music.
Yes. No.
Kind of. Sort of. Well, to
New-ish?
anyone who hasn't
Sort
seen,
of, but not really.
I mean, to anyone who hasn't seen us before, then it'll all be new. So it's fine.
That's, So I'm saying that we're like getting on to the like EP kind of stuff. We're going to see some of that.
Yeah, for sure. Like stuff that we've previously, like recently released, is going to be featured in the set.
You'll be happy.
Yeah.
If
Good.
you're happy, you'll be happy.
Good.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
And we'll definitely, we'll throw in an old one as well. So.
Just for shits and giggles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to it. It kind of brings me nicely onto the part that I'm looking forward to, because no one else has heard the music and I have. Ha ha. Ha ha. Teo, you've probably heard it too, but you're too ill, so you know.
It's made him sick, in fact. Sick of it. Like.
It's like, oh my god, my head is splitting. So yes, we've a new EP out, Visions of the Past. Very cool name. And it kind of took me a while to figure out where we're going with that, because as a standalone it's pretty cool. But does anyone want to tell me the story of that plus where it's going?
So, Visions of the Past. It's a 5-track EP. It's also part 1 of a 2-part album series, essentially. So, there will be another 5-track EP coming out mid-summer to autumn time this year.
Over Bloodstock.
Yeah.
Be a good time to play it. Yeah, good time to play it.
Visions of the Past is very much kind of like just a retrospective of what we've done so far and then things to come, like a little teaser. So the teaser being the song Little Leaf, that is very much what we would describe as an Adam song. The rest of the tracks surrounding it are the older sort of stuff, so the past. That is Ammer sort of stuff, so either strictly Ammer lyrics or stuff that may have been reworked, like Took Us From the Sky had been reworked, but it still is to an Ammer blueprint. And then the next upcoming track, like the remaining track that's still to be released, which is Wolf Among the Flock, which featured on our 2012 EP, like our debut EP. That's been remade as well for this, because again we enjoy playing it, and that's
Want to refine it?
I think it's a cool idea though. You kind of, this was us and this is where we're going to.
Passing the torch
to yourselves.
And hitting ourselves with it,
So then the second EP, what's that called?
The second EP is Paintings of the Future. So
very
it's
good.
just a very,
Is it going to be a similar style then, where there's going to be something old but then mostly new?
Yep, literally it's very much
It's continuation.
Yes.
Love it.
Its mirror is one old.
I love it.
Yeah, so we've got more stuff in there that's very much written by Adam, lyrically and vocally. You will hear a lot more quirkiness and all sorts like over what we do anyway, like the sort of groove alternative sort of stuff that we tend to do. And then there is one track on there which was also an Ammo track from back in the day.
Cool.
So,
very cool.
So that's kind of like honouring that, and that's probably, I guess you could almost say, closing a chapter on that as well.
Is that why you didn't go for an album rather than 2 separate EPs, because you can now have a narrative with it as well?
I think that was born from that, wasn't it? Because originally it was always going to be an album.
It was going to be like a 15-track
album.
So that was including the Brutality EP as well. Like the songs off of that were going to be in it as well. I think, it was going to be called Cynical Cinema.
Nice. It works quite well, actually.
But we're still kind of thinking, or at least I've certainly, I can't remember if I brought it up, but I think once it's all out, it could be put into playlists on like the streaming services and stuff that we would title as Cynical Cinema, and we could potentially put it in that order that we originally envisioned for the full-length album. Even if
I don't know why would you though? Because like having split it out is quite nice too. Yeah, you got the narrative with it, which is quite a cool story to it.
It was just like as a playlist sort of idea, really, like just where you can listen to all 3 in one place, like one continuous run. If you get me. But whether they link together or not, based on how they were recorded in the end, intended for the EP specifically. Whether they connect or not, well, who knows? But at least if you saw it in the track listing order, then it might be interesting in that sort of sense.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But as standalone things, they are very much going to be out there. So just
very cool,
like as intended. So, but it was partly because we've been sat on it for so long, and obviously originally it all stemmed from all the pandemic and lockdown stuff.
Yeah, we had our first practice, didn't we? And then
that was it, killed the plans straight away. We had to think up something new, and then it was just a combination of that, and which took a while to get around to finishing and recording everything. And then I don't know. I think just probably personal life sort of stuff that we've been busy with.
It kind of tells the narrative as well that obviously the former members were kind of quite a key part.
Yeah,
you want to have homage to that, but also start a new chapter, new members.
Yeah,
decision going forward.
Yeah.
I think it's a really cool way of doing it.
We still credit them on
cut and dry, it's not cutting and loose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have you told the other members you're doing that?
I mean, we've had their blessing from the off, didn't we? Because we wanted to check in with them first before we got Adam and Matteo on board, and they've been nothing but supportive since.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
Good. Shout out to those cool dudes.
Indeed. Check out Echo Den, Ants.
Yeah.
It's like a psychedelic reggae, space reggae. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
he drums and sings.
Drums and sings.
Yeah.
That'll piss Teo off. Teo's ever going,
he can do it.
Teo's dick.
Along with many, by the sounds of it. Good job, on Night City.
It's really got them going. A few things. Right, where do I go? I got loads of questions here. I wrote them all out and I was thinking about things. Right, we start with the opening track, Ring Announcer. Very cool idea. So, here in the red corner, and that's the name of the song. The whole Cruelty circuit and King Kong and... where did this come from? Because it's very random, but I love it.
There's some lore with Cruelty circuit apparently that we just gathered over the years. It's just from those are stupid inside jokes or happenings, whether it's at shows or whatever, really. But so to backtrack on, the King Kong thing just came up as the King Kong metal thing was an old inside joke on our subgenre because people just would just pigeonhole us as one thing or another. They'd be like, they were kind of like a heavier version of Primus meets Faith No More meets Strapping Young Lad meets
System
Factory
meets Fear Factory,
meets Mr. Bungle
Soulfly.
or something like that.
Rage Against the Chili Corpse.
Rage Against the Chili Corpse. That was James Moore from Saragon who dubbed us that after our first ever show. But the King Kong metal thing came about because there was a show that we played at the Croft, and again one of the many grindcore bands that were hot in the scene back in the early days that Matteo had mentioned in the previous episode. There's a band called Merciless Precision, and we gigged with them a few times, and they were very they're pretty good friends with ours, especially with Ammer, and Ammer would get us loads of shows with grindcore bands and crust punk bands and stuff, whereas I'd get us loads of gigs with prog tech metalcore or whatever, anything. I think there was a picture of Ammer that was taken, and as I mentioned, he was very much a Tasmanian devil, absolutely in a zone, completely possessed, psycho. And there was this particular picture of him on his knees with this expression, which sadly we have no cameras to show it right now, but there is a picture on our Facebook that I can dig out at some point as reference.
Put it up on the socials.
To put up on the socials to bring that back up. But it's this picture of him where he's just intense as fuck, on one knee or whatever, just God. And then
about to bang his chest and climb the tower.
And then I think it was Jamie from Merciless Precision had took the picture and edited it in Microsoft Paint or something.
Obviously Paint.
Literally, it was very much Paint. And it was just Hammer cut out with a picture of the Empire State Building in front of him, and that was it. That was where it came from. That was where the whole thing spawned from. And
yeah, and then it sort of led to it just kind of went from King Kong metal, and then I think later on it was banana core.
Yeah. It's more appealing, that one.
Oh,
Dad jokes now, okay? Guys?
yeah. I mean, that's good. That's quick. That's witty.
Ben, you're a piece of shit.
Whoa. No language, lads. Come on. They're swearing like lunatics all along. So yeah, then it goes into Manipulate the Cattle. Personally, my favourite of the EP.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Yeah,
Awesome.
really like it. It's quite. It's a bit different than the rest of it. It's a bit
Yeah.
more straight, heavy, I would say.
Yeah.
And also the break in the kind of 1 minute 40 region where the double bass kicks in, really fucking solid, really cool.
It's one of my favourites to play live.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of energy from that one. That's quite a fun one. You mentioned about the kind of heavy Primus, which is good because I was going to bring that up too. Your bass sound is very twangy. There's the only way to describe it. How on earth do you achieve that?
All the gear, no idea. No,
I just press on.
just really good gear.
You just went for a walk in the snow and you got that crunchy sound.
Next to the radiator for a warm tone.
Just set
Honestly,
up that you got.
yeah, it's just really good gear, basically. Really nice dingle, dark gear pedals.
It's evolved over time.
And,
like,
yeah, it definitely has evolved over time.
like from
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Ampeg, Ampeg, Orange to now dark glass products and stuff. So
That's really cool, kind of unique sound.
Yeah, we really strive when we record, don't we, to get that clang, and for live shows, because it cuts through and it adds that dimension.
The kind of quirkiness factor to it.
it's funny because I feel like we were going for like clarity, but also like a bit of growl about it, like a bit of bite. But there's so many times where I listen and I think it like just unintentionally also just kind of sounds muddy, but it sounds good, like in a way, like a bit. Like I don't know how to explain.
Muddy
it,
water.
like I don't know how to describe it, but. It's definitely got that, yeah.
It was something I was going to bring up as well. I don't know who did your recording for it, but you did a fantastic job.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, everything's perfect level. Like, you've obviously listened to the episodes like where we're reviewing something, kind of going, vocals sound like the fellas in a well, or, whatever. Like, this was, like, perfectly balanced. Like, everything works really well. The bass kicks in, the double bass kicks in, vocals, the guitars, you can hear everything really well. You did a really good job.
Thank you very much. Like, yeah, that's been... How long have I been doing this production stuff now? Since, like, 2011 or something.
Yeah, because we obviously did the first EP too as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Originally,
it goes back slightly further to my teenage years of just fucking around with a PC microphone and Audacity, but just like recording stuff on like a very ancient
tape
phone. Yeah, actually, I did have a tape recorder once in one of my old bands. Like, Christ, just. It's like a little answer machine flipping tape recorder thing. It was pretty.
So how did the recording for this EP go then? Like, you rehearsed, you recorded there and then, or does everyone
we recorded guitars and bass before we even got Tay and Adam on board, didn't we?
Yeah, literally. Before we got them in the band, we'd already had most of the stuff recorded. So,
or plug into your own kind of kit kind of stuff, or hire a studio, or
we went the electric kit to programming sort of route. Essentially that was like the way we approached it, and using programs like Superior Drummer and Get Good Drums, which a lot of bands use nowadays, but it's just because band on a budget, and studios can cost a lot of money, and and can also
rip you
it
off.
can be limited for time as well. So whereas if you've got all the tools at your disposal, then
and can use
you've got all. Granted, you're spending a lot in the long run up front, but at least then you've got it. And you can
at your behest,
use that. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Just, as and whenever you need to, and there's no like time constraints necessarily, which you would have in a studio. Where it's like you're on the producer's time, etc., or the studio hires time,
and
if
something goes wrong or half a day missing or whatever. Yeah,
exactly. So we just
because the artwork kind of looks like it's done as an actual like you're on a label, which are you?
I wish.
Yeah, we wish. We've still been. We still keep talking about it or debating it because originally we were very much when we brought things back. We were like full-length album, etc. We were just like, right, let's go try and write something for a label or something, and then I think we just kept having second thoughts or doubts because we were like thinking, well, it depends what kind of label, who would see us as a viable, money maker, so say, for them, like, is it going to be like a major label where we have to adhere to what they want to hear but they'll get us further afield, or would it be an indie label where we have all the creative freedom but it might not reach out as many? But then honestly at this point I think either direction would reach more people than we do on our own with our very, very small budget.
So on the album work then, it does have as I said, it looks like a label. Is that just your own made up?
Yeah. The B Mixed Records, B Mixed Productions. Yeah, it was intended as like when I was at uni a few years back, doing a production course just to sort of get my chops up together because I was already doing production at home and stuff beforehand, and then going there I learned a lot more and the quality just got better through all the techniques and things that I'd learned through my time there, which I'm very, very grateful for. And as a result, just one summer I was like, I'm gonna just record or re-record some of the Cruelty Circuit stuff, the old stuff and the stuff that never got released, like, and just see how it sounds like with all these plugins and things that I've got and new things, knowledge that's been acquired, and then I was like, wow, my work has really come a long way, like, over the years and to this point, and I shown it to Ben and that was it. We were just like, if things don't work out well with the kind of band that we were in at that point, with Brink of Extinction, then we've got something to fall back on if
that's cool.
Need be. And around that point, that was when I think it was Ben who approached both Amma and Ant if they wanted to
come back.
I mean, a bit tricky in Amma's case, living out in Abu Dhabi. But you never know. You might
does flights, does airplanes, things.
I mean, Adam's in Scotland and he gets flights. They're very much like, not where they're at and all the rest of it, but they were happy for us to continue anyway. And luckily, we had a couple of people in mind. So straight away, I was asked Adam, like having gone to college with him in the past and seen his previous bands like from Incruentus, Cold Old You and Valis Ablaze, and even when we were at college there was like a moment where they had us doing sort of tribute band sort of module for like a month or whatever, and he got to be in the System of a Down band. He was served and they were by far the best band like on that show, not even being biased, just straight up, they were the most fun and most spot on, likeness and everything. And it was just like, one day we'll collaborate or do something. And
very
then
cool.
One of our, what was the last metal show at the Croft before it became Crofters' Rights, etc. We threw in a cover of Prison Song, and we got Adam to come up on stage to do it with us because just got Adam to guest on it, and that's why we started off with Prison Song when we came back as well, like with releasing stuff. But again, it's all part of the production journey as well, so it's just
very cool. The artwork in it, kind of going back to it again, so I mentioned about the whole Grenalien. I like that term, that's good, we'll hold on to that. So the album artwork looks really cool, like with the kind of dark red with the Grenalien Greg in the middle of it, track list and stuff at the back, like it looks like a proper record. Is the next one, the other half, going to be yellow by any chance?
I wonder where you got it from.
It's that yellow tie.
The Dijon.
I need to know, if you're Ketchup and you're Mustard, what are the other members of your band? Important question.
I think Adam's sushi at this point because he keeps wearing canoe.
Adam's
I know what Tay would do.
Tay,
what's blue?
I think Tay was
Beige or black?
Tay was blue, but then I think we just quite preferred the fiery sort of colour aesthetic, really. And then even on the promo, like picture shoots, he's picture shoots. What?
Back in my day, I had to wind up the camera.
That's a phrase that comes up often.
That needs to be a band name as well. Back in my day.
We couldn't find like a black and blue polo shirt for him, unfortunately, or the ones that we did find, they were sold out or something. We were like, no, so we had to settle on a grey one. Which, to be fair, I think him just wearing black as the neutral sort of colour or whatever. Because I mean, Ant would either wear black or just not even wear a shirt at all when he play in the past. So yeah, with Tay, just it's like
they can do what they want, really. We just do it because we're beside the stage, and
that said, actually, he did.
No one looks at the drummer.
That said, he did wear a bonobo shirt, which is a blue sort of colour on it. So pretty cool.
My favourite is Babadook in front of the Pride flag. T-shirt.
That's incredible.
A little bit more on the EP because we're starting to run out of time, and I want to go through it a little bit more. Little Leaf, fantastic song. I love the way it just starts. Like, a little bit of a riff, scream, and then straight in. Fantastic. That's also going to get a lot of people going. Guitar work in it is very good. Bass is very good in it, obviously. The ending is quite interesting. So, in essence, it starts slowing down, and then it starts to fade out. And it's very, very faint in the background. And then just...
That was one of the highlights.
What were you doing?
That was a highlight.
We pretty much. We just didn't know what outro to land on, to be honest. So we just threw everything in that we possibly could think of. So we were like, okay, let's start off at the moderate sort of pace that we're doing it on. Then sort of make it offbeat, I guess. Kind of Chimera. Somewhere like Nothing Remains.
Yes.
Change the emphasis a little bit, and then I think it also changed where the snare would land as well. So it would go back to on the beat, and then it would I think half the amount of snare hits or something so it'd be so sort of slower in a way. I don't know how to describe it, way bigger, and then it would start to slow down, and I can't remember if it was Opeth or someone did it on an outro. I know Opeth down-tuned at the end of Burden, I think.
Yeah.
End of Burden, it just sort of gradually gets lower and lower until it's just so out of tune, and it was that's really cool.
It is
really interesting, really cool. What else? It fades out as it's fading out. Bands do there's fade out outros. But this is the fake fade out, which the two bands that come to mind that do the fake fade out were Alice in Chains on Rain When I Die, I think. Off of Dirt, it's off that album. And then another band, Down, they do it on Bury Me in Smoke, where it does the fake fade out and then comes back in. But instead of fading it back in like those two did, we decided we'll just come straight back in
and double the speed,
twice the speed. And when we were writing that, and just saying about performing it, we were like, right, I think when we actually perform this on stage, we're going to have to do this deadpan serious just to make it just all the more funny. So there's me and Ben in my living room just trying to
how do we do this?
We're practicing it. We're just looking at each other as we are right now across the table. And it's just...
I think to do this on stage you're going to have to go back to back or something.
And then we just look at each other play. But as soon as it got to the fast bit, the twice as fast bit on the end, we just burst out laughing every time because we just could not we just we'd look at each other in the eyes intently deadpan, just serious but we just could not hold it together. We would crease up laughing every time. So we're okay, I don't think that's quite going to work, but we're still going to keep that outro.
I'm looking forward to seeing that live at some stage, whether it's on the massive set or not, or one of the sets that you'll do. I'm looking forward to how that goes because it's going to be fun to see you not laugh while doing it, number one, but also actually pulling it off.
I think I get a little saving grace as opposed to Ben, and that is part of the backing track is literally a rhythm guitar, so to make it sound heavier and tighter. So I'm playing, but played lead stuff as well, and then there's another rhythm guitar sort of just playing throughout the set. So if it gets to that bit and I crack up and just stop playing, then there we go.
You're covered anyway.
But but you know, it can all just be it can just be part of the act anyway. Just because I think there's a lot of scope for what we can do live. Just because again, it's part of that tightrope act between serious and not so serious.
Yeah.
I guess I think we can get away with a lot of stupid things at times.
But it comes through and it's in a fun way. Like,
that's good.
you know, like even in this EP, like there's lots of sound effects going on. There's lots of sirens and random stuff throughout the songs, which just adds to fun. There's a stage where you're laughing in it. In one of the songs, it just like stops and you can hear laughing. So clearly you're having fun when you're doing it, and that comes through. Like you can hear it.
Yeah, it's important. It is important for us to maintain that humour throughout our stuff. Like no matter how serious the subject.
Yeah,
so rather,
even from one lineup to the next, like, you know, with Adam and Anne, it was always a laugh and a good time, and with Adam and Tay, it's still a laugh, it's still a good time.
So
we're all on the same page. So.
Good.
Excuse me.
In terms of the sound effects and stuff, Ben, I hear you've got a special talent.
I like making noises of spray cans.
Go on, it's yours. He's doing this with his mouth, by the way. There's no sound effects happening here. This is probably filming.
Get some Shure out. Mr. Sheen.
One more for the camera.
He's been filmed now as well. How was this a skill you came across that you knew you had?
I've absolutely no idea. I just like copying things. Sometimes I hear like random noises and
you can just instantly do it.
So, yeah, it goes well at my job. It works pretty well, making the kids and guys laugh. But
it's good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something I do, which is good juxtaposition to Adam, who does good voiceover stuff and whatever. So I just come in with random noises.
You should have heard the amount it takes on the middle bit of brutality, like the bit where he says, dip back in your pants and get a motherfucking job. That was actually Adam having a word with himself at the time. It's like he was between jobs at this point. Like, so, you know, anyone like taking any form of offence to that, it's like, no, for real, it was just Adam like talking to himself essentially. But the amount of outtakes I have on that bit is just phenomenal. Like him just doing loads of 90s pop song sort of tunes in between. It was just like yeah.
My final thoughts on the EP. I really liked it. I'm not just saying that because you're here. It would be very awkward if...
I'm more than open to hearing you like slate it.
No, it's good. It's fun. It's quirky. It's still groovy. Still heavy. You know, it's, as I said, everything's well balanced, so it all comes through the mix really well. I'm looking forward to seeing it live. I have to admit, that's going to be quite fun. No, I really liked it. It's fun. My only qualm is it's not long enough. I've had it on repeat for the last several days.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
It's shame it's not officially counting.
Oh, yeah. I'll go for Spotify now.
Yeah, when it comes out officially, I will definitely have it on again.
There'll be more to come later this year, so to add to that.
Looking forward to it. And thank you very much for coming on with us.
Thank you for having us a second time.
Best of luck in Metal to the Masses.
Thank you, can't wait. Thank you. See you guys there.
I definitely will. And we'll review the crap out of you afterwards.
That's when I take a turn.
They were the first band, God.
Took it too serious on the outro to Little Leap.
They weren't even wearing their ties.
There were no UFOs, it was just spray cans.
I bought Lynx Africa. He did sure.
Oh, that needs to be on the t-shirt. Just a little can of Lynx Africa.
There were no ties either. What was up with that?
Wearing ties around his head. Anyway, thanks everyone. Been a pleasure. See you in the pits.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.